Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Kim with the Craft Space, and today we're gonna have to play a little bit of catch up because I did do my December daily each day, but I did not have time to do a video or to film it, and so I thought we'll just wrap up the year here and do the last 3 December dailies, and then maybe right after the first of the year I'll do a complete flip through of the entire journal after I tuck all the last little bits of things in that I want to go in there, collect the rest of the Christmas cards that are in various different places around the house, that type of thing. So this week I've been working on a bunch of other projects, getting ready for January to come up, and just with work and everything, I did not have a chance to film every day when I did my journal. So I thought for the last few days, I would just do those few days, and then we'll do a flip through at the very, well, maybe right after the first of the year. We'll do a quick flip through of the whole thing, because, you know, we put Christmas cards in different places. Some of them I have in my little folio because I wanted to keep the address, the cards and the addresses together. I didn't have a chance to cut the address labels off, like the return address labels, or write them down yet. And so some of those are there. I've got a couple little cute things that were given to me that I put up on my fridge for the holiday. And so when I gather that all up, I will add that to my journal, and I will do a little flip through of the end of that. So but what I did want to show you is I am almost done with my January journal that I've built for myself. And if you've been to my channel before, you'll know that I celebrate my whole birthday month. Not just the day, because it's all the way at the end. And so I made myself a journal, and I'm going to continue to try to journal every day. Won't be filming it every day, but I will do a little something in my journal every day. I'm going to try to incorporate some of these 35 gentle reminders that I talked about that I found at the thrift store. We're going to add this to it, and just whatever else I can find. Again, I'm really working on this eclectic, kind of fun, over-the-top kind of journal versus my more conservative matching, not quite matching as in printables matching, where every page is kind of the same, but I try to have a theme throughout, and I'm going to try not to with this one. So let me just show you what I came up with. It was partially from Golden Books and partially from one of the Raggedy Ann books from when I was a kid. And I figure at my age, I've read them all. I've read them all a bunch of times, and some of them are not they're not ones that I really remember a whole lot. I mean, they were in my collection, and yes, I would read them, but they weren't my go-to worn out ones. You can tell they're pretty new. Still look really good. And so I thought with some of those, I'd rather make them into something that I'm actually going to use and enjoy, instead of just sitting there collecting dust on my shelf and then hoping that if one of my children has a child or something, that they're going to love it as much as I did. I'm going to just start incorporating it. So I went ahead and started dismantling that, and that is where I got the cover for this. I love Raggedy Ann and Andy. It was a big thing when I was a kid. I had an entire room decorated in Raggedy Ann and Andy. I think there was nothing that was Raggedy Ann and Andy that I didn't have. The clock, the toothbrush holder, the sheets, and all the different fun little things. And so my whole world was kind of Raggedy Ann and Andy when I was really little. So I made this out of a composition book. It's one of the bigger ones. But I didn't like how wide it was because I thought it would just get overwhelming. So I did cut it down just a tiny bit, so that it would be taller and skinnier. And I went ahead and covered it with some scrapbook paper. I don't know if you can really see that, but just pretty generic scrapbook paper. Put a little gingham ribbon on the end here. I like this gingham ribbon. I think it's all polyester, so it's nothing fancy, but it doesn't have an edge on it, or I mean, it doesn't have a raw edge on it, and so it seals very nicely and is great for covering bindings. And I thought it matched. I mean, gingham is really a Raggedy Andy type thing, that and the red and white stripes. So I'm probably going to add a little bit of something here. This is a very typical Raggedy and Andy pattern, so I put that there. On the inside, I've got a pocket with a butterfly. I was thinking of wrapping the butterfly around here, and that didn't seem to look so good. So we'll probably I'm going to put January down here is what I'm going to do there. This pocket I left empty because it's going to be kind of my catch-all, or maybe just kind of the beginning part. I saved the golden book for the Mr. Rogers book, which we'll get into in here. I saved the binding, so we'll use that somewhere in here, and then just a little scrap paper, which I think I'm going to set aside for right now. This came off of a little, I thought, how fantastic did those match? So obviously I'm on the right track here with my January journal here. What I also did though is, I left this kind of open to if I wanted to hide anything under here, but what you can see is I peeled off the back of the golden book, and so it was really thick and heavy. So what I did was I very carefully peeled that couple, it's probably maybe 2 or 3 layers of the golden book from this Mr. Rogers book that I had. It was in pretty bad shape. Obviously, I loved it throughout the years. And so I used that to cover the front of my book. But I didn't have a total emotional attachment to it. So I thought covering it up partly. This will probably have, I don't know what I'm going to write there yet. This is the very first page from my, it was from the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood book. And so I added that as the front page. And, oh, look at this. Lady Elaine Fairchild. How fantastic. The funny thing is, I don't remember reading this book when I was a kid that she had legs. I always saw her just as the top half because they were all puppets. This came out of my 2025 planner. It was one of the pages in there. And so I took it out and added it as a little flip. I did 9 pages, which will give me 36 pages. So it gives me just a little bit more than the 30 that I need, but that'll be good because then I can use maybe a pocket to tuck some extras in. And if I want to do some of the days instead of just doing 1 page, it'll give me the option of maybe doing 1 day as a double, which I kind of learned from my December daily that you might need a whole 2 pages together to express one of your days, as opposed to just limiting yourself to just 1 single page. So I did give myself a little extra room. This is part of the actual composition notebook. I did leave these. I may glue them together, or I may leave them the way they are. So I've given myself some options here. This is from the Raggedy and Andy book. I really like that there's a lot of reference to Raggedy and Andy. Not so fabulous about the picture, so I won't feel too badly about covering up this picture. But again, isn't she just so sweet? But so I like that it has some words in there. A piece of pink little kid paper. I think it's like kindergarten paper. And it's pink notebook paper that I have spray dyed with some, it's supposed to be blue, going with the blue and pink and the blue and red theme, but it did turn out a little bit on the green side. This, you'll see why I put this in here. It's a sweater pattern, and I left this so I can make it into a flip, or if I need to, I can glue it down and make it a little pocket. I might add something to it. I really wanted to leave this very flexible. while I'm trying to learn this new style of journaling. Tea dyed or coffee dyed, I'm not sure which. Sometimes the coffee turns out really dark or the tea turns out really dark. It all just depends on if I'm rushed. Little piece of vintage wrapping paper. I got an entire bin of it. Not bin, a packet of it. And these were all from like the 70s and 80s. And so what I did was I doubled this up, folded it in half so it's pretty nice and thick. I did fold this over to make a pocket out of it just to give it a little extra oomph on the edge as well. So we'll see what I'm going to do with that. I thought it wasn't very, very birthday-ish. Had lots of colors. It seemed like it really went with this, so that's why I chose it. More Raggedy and Andy. And there's Marcella. And this is the middle of the signature. I did bind it with that classic blue Raggedy and Andy color. And this is where I've decided, because I really didn't want to interfere with this, I really liked how this looked, I am going to use this page and possibly this page as my little grid, my daily punch grid. I thought that might be fun to do it right in the middle signature and try to train myself not to always have pockets with coordinating stuff in them. More of this. This is nice because these will all be covered up with something. Probably not completely covered up, but enough that you can still see some of the words in here. Second part of the signature, and we're just going to go backwards as we go through the rest of the signature. Flip this way. I didn't put anything on here yet. And the reason I put that sweater page in here is because I just loved this sweater. And so I wanted this sweater to be part of my journal. And so I thought, why not just put the whole page in? The back of that. Looks like I got some coffee on there as well with some pink dye and some blue dye that did turn green. But I think this looked just wonderful with the colors in here with little Miss Raggedy in here. Again, covering some of this, probably not the pictures if I like them. And now we're to the back. And then there is little Daniel and Henrietta Pussycat and Daniel Lion. And it's just so funny to see them with feet. And then at the very back of the book is Mr. Rogers, which I'm going to tell you a little secret. I thought when I was 6 years old, I thought I was going to grow up and marry Mr. Rogers because I didn't quite understand I didn't understand that when, like, if I grew up, he would keep growing up. I thought he would just wait. I don't know. I just, when he sings to you, you are special, I just felt like, well, he's going to be the person I'm going to grow up and get married to. I know I'm admitting something completely hilarious. And so that's why I thought he needed to be in my birthday month journal since I was using this golden book. And so there he is. I ended up growing beyond him, and I went to Johnny Gage from Emergency, but that's another whole story. Okay, and so the very back of my book is the back outside cover of that little golden book, which I see that I have somewhere. I need to add something there. I did not realize I missed that little spot. Again, the same thing. I kind of peeled this off. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably like 3 or 4 layers, so that it wasn't so thick. And then kind of brought this wrapped around. And this is not a pocket. I really wanted it to stick down to this. And then we're to the back. And what I did also is, because you know how when you are going through your day and you collect little bits and pieces like these right here, you don't have time to just sit down and journal right then and there, nor do you want to journal if you don't have everything that you need. So I made a little go along, a little file folder, or I should say a folio. Just folded a piece of 12 by 12 in half so that I can tuck all these bits and pieces. And these are all just some extra bits and pieces that from the book that I will use. Look at that. that I will use and tuck them in here and keep these together so that I have a place that keeps it neat and organized, so it's not just in a pile on my desk. And these will stay here, and I will journal with these here and then move back to my studio now that the holidays are almost over. We just have to get through midnight tonight, which I don't think we're going to get through till midnight tonight. But we'll see. We'll see if I can eke it out. But this will stay on my desk, and I think it will look cute sitting on my desk. And everything else I'll go back to journaling and creating and doing all of the big stuff will be over at my studio. So that might be a little better. So I will add these all together. I probably am going to add something so there's not a big Goodwill sticker on the front of this, so that I can use some of these for my yearly journaling. But let's get to my December daily. We're going to do the last few days of this, and I did decide on the Puffy Santa. I got him really anchored on there. I don't think he's going anywhere, and so I'm really happy with how he has added to the front of this journal. So let's just go to the back here, and then we'll do a final flip through at the end of maybe next week when I get it all completed and I start working on getting my Christmas stuff put away. Production has started for our other business pretty heavily, and so I'm kind of busy getting ready for all of that, all of our upcoming shows. And so Christmas coming down might take a back seat. All right, so we did the 27th, which was, or the 26th. The 27th was our little nature scene, which because it was so nice, and it was even though it was a little rainy, it was very, very nice weather-wise. I think we were in the high 40s, low 50s, which is just crazy. And then on the 28th, we went right back to horrible storm, blizzard, very, very strong winds, and tons of snow. We live in a snow belt, and so tons of snow. And so I thought what I would do is grab all of the snowy items out of my stash of things that I've collected and make a whole snow page. So I have a Christmas card that was snowy. This was the envelope to a card, and so I turned it into a journaling spot for myself. We'll keep that closed. This was one of the little snowflakes from when we made those quick little last minute ornaments. This was from a Christmas card. I put some little snowflakes that I cut out throughout the journal. Whenever the Bears play, I'm a Chicago Bears fan, obviously. I tried to tuck in just a little, I don't know if you can even see it. That's just a little tiny football on the snowflake. There's my 28. Here's another snowflake. And then we always do lottery tickets for Christmas stockings. And so I just found the stack of all of our non-winning ones. So I thought I would put my blizzard books in there because it's pretty much was a blizzard on that day. So that was the 28th. And I liked how this little snowflake, I let that hang over to the side a little. Usually I just do little dangles, little paper clips with baubles on it, but I'm really trying to, have some interesting things pop up out of the top. This tag pops up, which is also my journaling spot for this page. So they pop up the front or up the top, out of the sides. I don't really have anything in the bottom because I know I'm going to be storing this journal on a bookshelf at some point, because it's got a gorgeous dangle on it. So I wanted to make sure that that I did not have anything popping out of the bottom except for this little silk flower, but that has already curled up, and that's okay. All right, so that was the 28th. Let's see what I did on the 29th. All righty, so the 29th was kind of a relaxing day, and again, snowing. And so what I did was, this light is just killing me. I took all of the last bits of the cookies because I did partake in some extra cookies on that day. And I thought, oh, that's a great idea for a theme. I did not have room to put my little journaling spot, so I journaled on this and then clipped it to this side on this brown page. And I'll probably decorate this with extra bits and pieces, but this is kind of a leftover piece, and that's where I journaled. I can always take this off and tuck it on here as well, but for right now, I wanted to leave this the way it was. So there is the 29th, which was cookie day. Let's see what we got for the 30th. Yesterday we did, yesterday I just went through and I wanted to cover up this music page a little bit, but I didn't want to cover it up too much. And I was real busy trying to get that other journal done, and so I just took all the little bits and pieces of all the different sayings. So I have a happy holidays, which is actually just chopped up bits and pieces out of a mailer, season's greetings, and I just took all these extra little, this was a card that I cut out just the whole words out of, and just anything that had Christmassy words on it, I added to this page. I did not have time to journal that day, so my journaling was basically, these were all my words for the day. And then my 30 is right here, which is from an ad they want me to get another credit card with 30% cash back or something with, I don't even know what it was, with a balance. And all I did was I went, oh, I need a 30. So I shredded the rest of it and kept the 30. Alrighty, and then for today's, which was the last day, I found this little thing that says, let's get ready to celebrate. I just added this to a page as a little extra tab. We'll see what I put on that, but I wanted to do actual 31st. I wanted it to be on the very last page. And so today, this is what I did. I should have zoomed in earlier. This is what I did. I didn't have a lot of New Year's stuff that I was able to collect. We're not real big on New Year's here, just because, you know, it's just, you're tired, you've got a lot going on. And so I didn't have any New Year's decorations or anything extra. And so I kind of just went through my stash and pulled anything that I could find that kind of looked sparkly and Happy New Year's-ish. So this one it's full, but it's just kind of what was left. Little end of Happy New Year, celebrate. And here is my teeny tiny little 31 right down here in the bottom corner. I wanted it to kind of be like it's the very last thing in the journal, and then we are to the back. And then what I will do is and I added those ornaments and that tree to the back. I just wanted to use those, and they just seemed to go really well. And this was big and really thick and chunky. It's off of a pair of socks that I got at the beginning, and it's really heavy and thick. So I thought it could go on the back and look pretty nice there. Alrighty, and let's just do our snippets real quick, and then I will go and try to finish celebrating or getting ready to get stuff done for New Year's Eve. Alrighty, so here we are. I love how this page has turned out. Absolutely is my favorite page in my whole journal. Okay, so this is for the 28th, which was that the snowy day. I added this is one of the postage stamps from this year's Christmas collection. I took this off of one of my Happy Mail envelopes, and I just tell everybody like where I find all this stuff so that you can see that you don't need to go out and buy all kinds of things. You don't need to buy printables and digitals, and if you want to, that's completely fantastic. But this was just a way I like to try to kind of hint where I get little bits and pieces, so that if you are interested in doing this, you don't feel that you need to go out and buy all of this stuff to get started to do it. So then the 29th, this was the relaxing cookie day. This behind here is an actual gingerbread house. Then I put some candy canes on top to decorate the gingerbread house. And then this goes along, let's see if I can make that a little closer. Yeah, it's awkward to film here. Yeah, there you go. That light is terrible. If you can see, it's a Christmas tree made up of all different Christmas words, which I thought went very, very well with the theme of that day, with all the words all over the page. And then this very last one was, I think it said, let's celebrate, on this little piece behind it that I punched out. And then I just used a piece of that, from our Christmas crackers, but it was black and gold. And I thought that made a very perfect end of the year, New Year's Eve, snippet. I guess that's what I'm trying to call these, snippet, daily little snippets. So this is absolutely my favorite. I might see if I can somehow get a photocopy of this and maybe make like a tuckable or a postcard or something out of it, because I'm really just happy how this turned out and cannot wait to start my one for January, in whatever capacity it's going to happen. But that's one thing I know I will do every day. But anyway, we can finish off our calendar. I always forget to do this, and I've learned my lesson. I won't put this 3 pages in next year in December, because I tend to forget it quite frequently. And so I just thought, well, I'll just do it while I have you all here, and then we will be done for the day. If you could be so kind as to like this video, if you truly liked it and you are enjoying this December daily journey that I am going on, or that I went on, it would really help my channel out a lot. And if you would subscribe, I'm trying to build up my subscriber portion of this, and eventually, once I hit each one of the 100 marks, I will be doing a drawing and a giveaway for maybe it'll be a ephemera pack, a goodie pack, a sticker pack, a spine dangle, all the way up to, if I ever make it to 500, I will be doing a drawing for a free journal that I will be creating for that. But I would really love it if you could be so kind as to subscribe and leave me a comment below as to what you're enjoying about this, or there's something you'd like to see. And what did you think of the December daily journey that we went on together? I'd love to know more about what your journals look like, and I hope you enjoyed this set of videos. You all have a happy new year, and I will see you next year when we start the new year in January, and we'll talk about resolutions, or all the new things that we're going to do with our journals and our crafting. So anyway, happy new year, everyone. See you soon.